Hey everybody, this is CheckTheEffects coming at you with another Minecraft tutorial, and today we're going to be going over a fully automated, high-capacity, networked sorting item silo. That is a mouthful, I can tell you that much. This has been something I've been working on for the past few days, off and on, and this is connected to my previous tutorial on networked item sorters. So without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. So as you can see here, I've been working on a couple of attempts with this, and I finally came out with the final solution being the one here in the middle. It started off with my attempt with a one wide shulker box packer which had only one piston, but that didn't work 100% of the time and ended up being too wide. Anyways, that aside, I also needed to add on for this a item sorter and some networking capacity that's there, as well as your item silo that's over here. So this portion here is your item silo, and all it is you have a basic item sorter right around here, and I'm not too worried about using this version because your item sorters, these individual ones here, are going to have some space between them, so there's not going to be any redstone bleeding between them. So this is just fine to use this simple design that's been around since 2013. From there, from the item sorter, it goes down into this particular chest here, and then of course this is where it'll be able to buffer if you got more items that are backed up, and then they go in here, and inside here you may see this little protrusion. That's a minecart with a hopper in it. That'll allow all the items from this hopper to pass right through this observer block, in through the minecart with the hopper in it, and into this hopper. And then from the hopper here, it's fed into the shulker box. The shulker box itself would be loaded in from this dispenser. The moment that a shulker box comes into the dispenser, the comparator here will detect it, and then it'll go over to this repeater. The observer block then detects the change in the repeater and then sends the update through this observer block, and then gets this block triggered, which then sends a signal or redstone current into this dispenser, and then the shulker box pops out. So if you have no shulker box there at all, it doesn't really matter, as long if the shulker box comes in. This is where the shulker box will be coming in from this pipeline here. So just imagine there's a big long pipeline going across, right where this one's going across here, right here. And then what happens is, if there are no shulker boxes in this hopper, but if there's nothing backed up to here, then it'll just keep having more shulker boxes pouring in through this pipe and then going into the dispenser right over here. And once it's in the dispenser, it'll then pop up, and if there are any items in this hopper, it'll start feeding those items into the shulker box. When the shulker box is full, this comparator here will turn on. That will cause this observer block to trigger, and then you have a line that goes around this way, a line of observers that goes down into the piston, and then the piston will fire and then send the shulker box into this line of hoppers and down into your chests until it reaches the very bottom, which goes over to this dropper over here. As you remember from my previous tutorial, if you did not see it, I would recommend you see that first before going any further. And that's related to this portion here. This is the networking part that would connect the networked item sorter to this device over here, this contraption over here. And so what happens is, when a message comes in here, it'll get received by the hopper, sent down through the filter, and then spat out by this dropper over here. Then that will go back to the item sorter, the networked item sorter. Then also what happens is, when it does come in through here, that triggers this comparator to increase its signal by 1. That gets boosted. You'll have a shulker box spat out of this dropper, which then gets carried off by the water trough to the nearest shulker box unpacker. And then the items from that shulker box unpacker get put into a water trough or a hopper pipe or a minecart with a chest in it, or whatever the case may be. Anything that would allow it to transport the items from your item silo to your item sorter, the one that's your networked item sorter. Okay, and that's how that would allow your item sorter to always remain full as long as there are items in here and in this dropper over here. So now, as we can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 double chests here. Each double chest having a capacity of 54 item slots. That's potentially 54 shulker boxes in each double chest, and each shulker box having 27 item slots, meaning an additional 27 stacks of whatever item it is that you want to have stored in here. Plus, then you also have these hoppers over here that would, count as also additional storage when they're trying to put the items also in here. And then also you have the dropper itself, which has an additional 9 slots for your shulker boxes. That amounts to a lot of storage. You can put a lot of items in this thing, and it would be able to take care of all your storage problems. This would take care of any overflow you'd have from your item sorter, the networked item sorter, and also be able to refill it whenever needed. Now, in order to build this, you're going to need everything that you see here. So you're going to need your building blocks with slabs. You're going to need packed ice, a bucket of water or a water source of some sort. You're also going to need some chests. You're going to need shulker boxes, a lot of shulker boxes. You're also going to need your item that you're going to be sorting. In this case, I'm going to be sorting diamonds. You also need your filler block. In this case, I have a bunch of, or stack of, grass blocks which have been renamed to filter filler using an anvil. Okay, so I use the anvil to rename these blocks. Also, we have your messages, which will be another set of items which have been renamed to whatever message you want sent. In this case, we have the message diamonds needed. This is corresponding to my previous tutorial, which I had a message being sent from there that says diamonds needed. That goes to this system here in order to fetch more diamonds out of the chests over there. We also are going to need a dispenser, some droppers. You're also going to need a minecart with a hopper in it, or a few of them actually, and as well as some powered rail and possibly some regular rail as well. You're also going to need some observer blocks, hoppers, a single redstone lamp, a piston, some comparators, repeaters, redstone torches, and redstone dust for your redstone wire. So next we're going to start by building this and showing how to build this. And I'm going to build this close to my initial design for the networked item sorter so that I can show in close proximity how they connect. So to start off, we're going to start with this type of thing here, a 4-block long line of building blocks. And in this case, I'm using oak, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two out, and then you put a dispenser right on top like so. Then you're going to take your observers, and you're going to put both observers facing into this block over there like so. Then you're going to take this one out and have it face upward like this, so that you have the little face up like that. Next, you're going to take your comparator, put that right over here, and then you put your redstone repeater like that. Now you may have heard a small tiny click, and that's exactly what we want, so that if I go ahead and put a shulker box in there, there you go, your shulker box appears. Next, you're going to take 3 blocks and put them over your initial setup like this. And just letting you guys know, this section that we're going to be building right now is the shulker box packer section. Okay, that's the part that we're doing right now. Then you're going to take your piston and put that facing like so, and then we can take this one off like that. Next, we're going to have the system that's going to test for the shulker box if it happens to be full or not. So we're going to go ahead and, while holding the shift key down, or if you're flying, shift key and space key at the same time, right click on your dispenser and bring that out about 3 or 4 blocks, roughly like that. Okay, and we're going to actually go down like so and have it go down like that. Then we're going to take these ones out, get your hoppers like this, and then you put 1 hopper in here like this, and then put your other 2 hoppers like so. Then you can get rid of this block over here. Take your comparator, put that right on top of this hopper like so. Next thing, we're going to take another building block, put that right on top of here, and then put a hopper right on top of that. This, of course, is a temporary one again, and we're going to take that one out just like that. Next, we're going to have our line of observers that are going to test the comparator and bring the resulting signal all the way up and over this hopper and into this piston. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we're going to right click on your hopper while holding the shift key, and then you're going to have your observer block facing down towards it. Put another one that's going to be facing upward like this, and then another one that's going to be facing like this, regular block like this. So we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to have to feed in our hopper cart into this over here. So we're going to have to try and force it in. To do that, we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a little rail thing here, a little rail system, and bring it up like so. We're going to get your powered rail and bring that down like this and right into that. Take your redstone torch, put that one right over here, then take your minecart with a hopper and right click on there, and boom, it goes right into that. Next, we're going to just go ahead and remove all this because we're going to have to repeat this again at some other point. And also, we don't really need the rails anymore. Once your hopper minecart is in this observer block, you're going to go ahead then and right click like this to put your observer block on here, and then another block facing up, and there you go. There's going to have your signal coming out like that. Then again, you're going to have a method of putting an item into here. So we're going to go ahead and put a block like that, and you'll see on the side your minecart is still there. So then you have your hopper on top, and it's going to feed right through. So we're going to go ahead and test this out. So if I go ahead and put a shulker box in here like this, you'll see it appears. Then if I go ahead and put an item into this, there you go, you'll see that it has already gone in through here and it's gone up and around. And then you have your shulker box with 2 diamonds in it. So we're going to go ahead and change that up with an empty shulker box. In order to make sure that we have the shulker box only get pushed in by the piston when the shulker box is full, we're going to have to make it so that the comparator only turns on when the shulker box is full. To do that, we're going to put 2 slabs like this, and then we're going to put a redstone torch here and a redstone dust here. That's going to give you a full redstone signal strength, the same amount of redstone current that will come out of the comparator if the shulker box behind it is full. So that means that only when the shulker box is full that this comparator will turn on. When the comparator turns on, that'll trigger these observer blocks to send the current into the piston and then have that broken and sent into the hoppers over here. Now we have to have the system automatically dispense a shulker box after another shulker box has gone through down the pipe. To do this, we're going to go ahead and start with this little temporary block here. Put your hopper into the temporary block and then break the block. Then we're going to take some half slabs, put that on the bottom here, and then bring that down like so right across over to here and break this half slab over here. We're then also going to take a comparator, put that one over here, and then boost the signal with a repeater like so. That way you end up with a full signal coming out of the comparator the moment that something passes through this hopper, and this is going to go into another chest. This is where we're going to have our item silo starting. Of course, before we put our item silo, we're going to need a place where our shulker boxes can be fed into our shulker box packer. So to do that, you're going to put a line or pipe of hoppers that feed into this dispenser like so and come out like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our item sorter. To do that, we're going to stick a hopper in like so, and then put your chest over it like so. You can put it this way, you can put it that way, whichever way you want. I would suggest probably going this way might be best. How you want to orient the chest depends on your space requirements. Next, we're going to take a hopper, put that one in like so, and then put another one in like this. Then we're going to take your building block and go ahead and put in your typical item sorter type of configuration that you'd have for the old-fashioned item sorters. Like that. Take a block out here, repeater in going this way, comparator on top just going like that, and redstone going down like so. Then take your redstone torch and put that right underneath this one like so, and right onto this block. Next, you're going to take another hopper, and this is going to be your filter hopper, aiming right at the back of the comparator. You're going to put it right in like so, so that's pointing right in the back of the comparator like that. To add a hopper pipe, you just have to go and put it in whatever orientation that you want to go, depending on which way you want the items to be moving. And then of course we're going to take out our temp block like that, And that should be it for the item sorter itself. Next thing, we're going to put the hopper pipe in for your empty shulker boxes to come back into the system here. And to do that, we're going to put a chest here. Now it could be either a single chest or a double chest. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on what you want as far as capacity is concerned for this particular buffer. Now I'm going to put a single chest just for simplicity's sake, but you can put double chest if you want. Then on top of that, we're going to go ahead and put a hopper, and then have our hopper pipe right above that. Again, adding a hopper pipe is similar to what you have over up here. It's the same thing, and you should end up with something that looks like this. For maintenance purposes, you may also want to add a button on this block over here, just in case you ever want to have a shulker box dispensed here and it's not dispensing for whatever reason. Now we have to remember that we have to remove this here. That's not required over there, but we're also going to now add in our network system. So we're going to go ahead and add a block here and then make our water trough that will go along this section here. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you have this trough like of a structure here, we're going to go ahead and add some packed ice in, and of course you're going to add in some water streams using water buckets and signs as well. One thing I forgot to mention is you're going to need signs as well. You don't see them here, but I'll show you what I mean. They're actually it's pretty much the same thing as where we have this type of system like this going off like that, and that would have the same thing going through here, but just passing multiple modules for this particular system. Next, we're gonna have to take this one out over here and take this one out here. We're going to add in a hopper that's going to point into this block here. That's how your messages are going to come out, and this is going to feed into another item sorter. We're also going to place another block over here, then put a hopper into this like so, so that it's going to be feeding into your other dispenser that's going to go into this like so, or this dropper like so. From here you can go ahead and create another water trough like so, going down up to this point like this, and go up here, and then we can remove this, replace it with some packed ice, and then repeat the same thing going over this way, just going underneath here and up around, packed ice again right over here. Next, we're going to break this block over here, add a block on this side, and make your standard old-fashioned item filter type configuration. Once you have this shape like that, going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did with last time. Comparator over here, redstone going down around here, repeater going over here, and your redstone torch going right under this hopper over here and connect this block, such like that. Next, we're going to take a block on this side and then bring some blocks out here. Then we're going to take some redstone dust, put that over here, and then a repeater to pull the power out, since this is being soft powered, so it has to actually point out this way like so, and then redstone dust going into this block like so. So now what's happening is it's filtering your item right through like this. It comes out, and then what happens is the signal is not only going to come down here and go over here so that the item passes right through and into the dispenser, it's also going to have the signal come out this way and then into the repeater, and then send it into this block, which is going to power the adjacent dropper over here and then spit your item out. From here, we're going to take two blocks out like this, then add your repeater on like so, then put a redstone dust like this, and then take your dropper, and this time we're having it facing inward like this, like so. And there we go. Now we're going to take a water trough and build that right underneath here. So put like this, like so, and then one like that. That's one side. Then I'm going to bring that over to the other side like this, and then add your packed ice in. Next, we're going to add in the item silo itself. So to do this, we're just going to be having a hopper put in the back of this dropper here, and we'll be adding in a tower of hoppers and chests going from this hopper all the way down into this hopper, and we're going to be doing it like so. So go ahead and add your chest like this. Then I'm going to go ahead and put another chest below that, bring that out, break this here, put another chest like this. Again on this side, put a chest like here, bring that out, break this one here, and put this one like that. For the last one, we just had to put one chest like this, and another one like this, and there we go. We have all our chests set up. Now we just need to add the hoppers that's going to connect the chests. To do this, we're just going to go ahead and add your hoppers in like so, like this, and like so. There we go. There are your hoppers. Now you can put them like this if you want. You can also, if you want to have them come in faster, you can put twice as many hoppers, but that's just going to cause even much more lag. So we don't really have to worry about how fast these things go. If you really want to have it go faster, then you can just add these double hoppers going in like this, and it's going to allow all your items to come from here down into this chest much more quickly. You can even put another one over here like so, but that can cause problems with this redstone wire if that happens to be activated. So you don't want to have any hopper over here because of this redstone wire, in case it gets activated and interferes with the hopper on that side. It'll be useless putting one in. Next, we're going to take a couple of blocks out like this, and this is going to be our little detection system that's going to tell, are there any items in this hopper and hence in this dropper. So that's what we're going to be having this here, and it's mainly for maintenance purposes that we're going to have this. So we're going to go ahead and put that on, and then we're going to add in a redstone lamp like so. This is a nice to have, but it will be very useful for any type of maintenance crew that has to take care of this. Now if you're going to have several of these or even hundreds of these particular modules, especially with their size, you're going to want to make sure that you account for lag. To do this, we're going to go ahead and add furnaces on any hopper that does not have a block above it, or does not, or where you don't expect it to take any items from its top. So like this one here, you can put one like that. You know what, we can actually face it the other way just to make things a little bit easier for maintenance reasons, like that. And then just keep on looking for other places where you can add your furnaces. Once you're done adding your furnaces, you should have something that looks sort of like this. 2 furnaces up top here, a furnace over here, 1 furnace down over that side, 3 over here, and then 2 over on this side over here. Now of course, with a module of this size, you're going to want to have certain elements in for maintenance, especially when you have these stacked side by side or built side by side, and you have so many of them, and you want to be able to check on individual things, like for instance the item filter that's over here, and then also the item filter that's down over here. These are some key elements. The dropper over here, or even the dispenser that's down over here, for instance, which would be a little bit more difficult but doable. Now to do this, of course, we can have our starting point as over here, so people can go traveling around this side, and then they say, okay, I want to check out what's going on over here. Now a piece of advice, you may want to do something such as add in a sign and say, okay, we are at, put the sign up on here and say this is your diamond silo, right? So we put diamond and then silo like that, and so people know, okay, this is the diamond silo. So if we were having problems with diamonds, we see a sign here that says diamond silo. That means we can just turn up around here and then go up like this, and then you can start inspecting it. So you can go over here, is there a problem with this hopper? No. Oh, that's a furnace, I really don't give a care about that. I can come down here and go down in here and check to see, is there anything wrong with this item hopper? Nope, nothing wrong with that one. That is the main filter down there for your messaging system. So if there's anything wrong with the networking, you're able to double check this hopper here. You can also then go down here and then come up here and check on the dropper itself. Whereas that's where the items would spit out. So you see if there's anything that came back. You can also go back up here, check on this little chest over here, see if anything's wrong here. Let's try and jump across like that. Then we maybe want to sneak in here, take a look and see if this dispensers, everything's okay from there. Jump across, jump up here, go back up, and now what we're going to do is try and go up this area. So we're going to just jump up and go up the ladder like so. Now we're up on top of the item filter, or the main item filter where all the diamonds get filtered, and then you can check your main item filter right here. You can then go down like this and go down here, and you know, there's a furnace. You can see whatever else is there. You check on this repeater or whatever it is. Anything that will allow you to, be able to gain as much access to the individual components of this contraption, such a way that you'll be able to check up on everything, even single player, without the ability to fly. Once you've built this module, and let's say you happen to be using World Edit, you could actually then take this and then copy it, stack it, do whatever you want with it. But once it's done, then you have to go into your individual filters, and then, for instance, this is going to be like your diamond silo, and then be able to go in and actually activate the filters themselves. To do this, we're going to go up to your main silo here. So first we're going to go check out the main filter, open it up, and then we're going to put in our filler blocks. So we're going to 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Same thing as with your old-fashioned item sorter. Then we're going to put 1 2 3 of your items that you want sorted. It's going to go down to 2, and you'll have, of course, one item. If you look over here on this one item is going to be stuck down there. It'll go through when you have more items come in, and it'll come down into here and into this section like that. Next, we're going to head down from here. As you can see from this section here, going down, and we're going to go down over to this section here and then right click on this hopper. This is the item hopper that's going to act as your item filter. So we're going to go ahead and put your filler blocks in these slots like so. Like that, just like the other one. This time we're going to put your diamonds needed message 1 2 3 into the slot like that. Now if we go ahead and look down here, you may see that it actually ticked, but nothing came out. If I came around on this side over here, you'll see that there is a single message coming out like that. And if I were to, let's say I maybe back up here, so pretending again that I am in a single player, that I don't have the ability to fly, I'm going to go ahead and take my messages, and I'm just going to come here, aim one right here, and toss it in, and there you see it comes out the other side like that. Now if there were any shulker boxes at the same time, it would spit a shulker box out of this dropper at the same time that the message comes through here. So now that we've finished off this build, that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and connect our networked item sorter to this swing over here, and we're only going to be doing this, just this section here, the item. This is where the item comes out and then goes over to here, gets received by this system, and then comes out from here. At this point it would have to come all the way back around to this point over here, and it's going to require a item elevator at that point. And to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit lazy when it comes to building another item elevator, and this is going to take much longer for me to actually do this. So once you built your trough like so, then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and let your water flow like that, put down some water over here where the sign is, and where the water ends, you go ahead and put another sign like so, and you repeat this over and over again until you manage to get it all the way down to this section here. Now remember, when you're doing this, you also have to make sure, be wary of where you place your signs. Now in this case, your items, first of all, are being shot out of a dropper and being hit against this wall over here on this water trough, and then end up going on this side, on this half over here of the water stream. So that means you're going to have your signs on this side of the water stream, just in case, to make sure that your items don't get caught to the side of the sign. Once the item has passed through this section, it's going to hit this wall, which means that it's going to be going on this side of the water trough on the stream, and so the sign has to go on this side of the wall. So whatever side that the item is going on, so if in this case is on this side, the sign would have to be on the opposite side of the water trough. Again, on this side it hits here, and then it will come and then go down here, and then here is where you'd have your sign. Then again, you take your bucket, put your bucket down here, and go ahead and let the water flow to as much as it's going to go. Okay. One more thing that you may want to take into account is to never ever put a sign right over a hopper. The reason is that whenever you have a sign that's over ice, the item is just going to slide right over the ice, just like so, and go right really fast over the ice. When it hits anything that's not ice, it's going to slow down. So let's take a look at this. So put our item into our water stream like so, and then you'll see it slows down right where the hopper is, and looks like sometimes it can even get caught over there. So we don't want that happening. Let's try that again. Hopefully this time it won't do that. So we're going to go ahead and we'll try to shoot it from here so it has a little bit more momentum going around. So see, it goes that way, hits that side, boom, 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 goes right across, right up to there. So that's what you want. You want it to have enough speed, enough momentum in order to jump over the hoppers. Now we're going to be using name tags, so let's try using name tags. This time we're going to be using the diamonds needed name tag. We're going to do that with the full test when we start using this thing over here. So first thing we're going to need is, of course, your shulker boxes. So let's go ahead and put your shulker boxes into your hopper over here, and you're going to see them go all the way down into there, and right off the bat, there you go, there's your shulker box. It's appeared. Now let's go ahead and feed in your item sorter. So I'm going to add in another hopper here just for demonstration purposes, like so. And I'm going to get myself a trap chest, because trap chest will be able to hold all my items until I actually let them go into the hopper by closing the chest. So I'm going to go ahead and do like this, and I'll think that's all we need, because trap chest or even any chest is about the same capacity as a shulker box. So I just need to be able to fill this whole thing with diamonds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So over here you can see I have loaded this trap chest with a whole bunch of items. The items are already starting to go in. You can see the item filter working away whenever I close the chest, and it stops whenever I open the chest. And you see the items are draining from here. So we're going to continue to let that go, and we're eventually going to wait for the shulker box to get put down into the item silo. And by that time we won't see a light over here because it's not going to be backed up, but we're actually going to end up seeing this dropper having at least one shulker box in it. So there we go. We have our shulker box that should be down in our dropper right over here, and there it is, completely filled with diamonds. And now it's there for storage. Then what happens is it'll just keep on piling up until you have a whole bunch of shulker boxes filled with items, or in this case diamonds, all up in these chests. And all the way up in here, if it goes that far, it can actually go all the way up to this point here. If it does get to this point here, and then you're going to end up seeing shulker boxes that end up sitting here and just resting here. Now you be careful about that, and this is why you need to have a maintenance area for you to check up on these things, because if you're on a server that has clear items or a modification like that, then you would have to be worried about losing your shulker boxes, because with clear items every few minutes or so, or every an hour or so, you will end up with those items just disappearing because they get erased. Any items that are, just any entities or any floating entities, like items that just happen to be, floating around, so it ends up like something like this, right? If it has something sitting around like that, it'll end up being deleted and it'll go away. So now we have our shulker box over here in our item silo, and we're going to let that stay there. And what happens in this case is, let's say we have over here back at our networked item sorter that we have a bunch of items that are in our chest, and we only have one stack of diamonds left. Well, someone comes along and takes those items out, and then what happens is you get a message that quickly gets sent over to the item silo, and then there you go, your shulker box is spat out. Now from here it would be taken by a water trough, and I'm not going to do that right off the bat, but here it'll be taken from a water trough over to a shulker box unpacker. So here's the shulker box unpacker design that I did in a previous episode of my tutorials in Redstone. So to use this again, what we have to do is put the item into the chest at the top, and we could have a hopper pipe or whatever, or maybe even the water trough leading into this hopper, and then you have the items start to unload. As you can see here, we've got items coming out of the shulker box into the large chest over here, and so let that continue to go. Then eventually what happens is the shulker box itself should end up coming up into this chest over here. Then from here you could have, say, this hopper pipe that's over there. That hopper pipe can lead back into this section right over here, into this hopper pipe. So you'll see it coming in from this end going into here, and then that will continue on to the other modules as well. And if this one is not filled with shulker boxes, then that shulker box will drop into this one here. While all the items from this section here would have a hopper pipe coming out instead of this chest, there would be a hopper pipe coming out, and they would lead into this hopper pipe here, which would then go over into this filter when the items went across and end up back in this chest. Back at the shulker box unpacker or unloader, you'll see that we still have these items going. So we're just gonna let this go until our shulker box has been completely unloaded and separated from its items. So our shulker box has been dispensed, and you can see it's right up in here, and the rest of our items are down in here. So now I already got a full inventory with well, I got this over here, so I'll go ahead and destroy this item here, and I'm going to pretend that with this, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this shulker box that came from this chest is now going to travel all the way across using a hopper pipe, or whether a hopper pipe or whether it's a water stream, whatever the case may be. So it's going to travel all the way around here over to this point here, where it's going to enter into this hopper pipe and then hop in here, and then it's going to go back into the dropper over here. So I gotta go from the other side in order to see that. Right there, there you got your white shulker boxes all there. As for the individual stacks of items that you have down in this chest from the shulker box unpacker, then what's going to happen here is you're going to have them taken back to, they first of all go through a hopper pipe or some other transportation system like water trough, whatever, and then they're going to go all the way back to the item sorter, the network item sorter, and they're going to go into this one here, and they're going to all go into your item sorter like that. I'm just going to plop everything on top of this so that it'll quickly go. And the last one, there we go, all your items sitting there, and instead we're just pretending that this is coming in from an item hopper, or from an item hopper pipe going into this section over here. You can see the sorter is working away, and if we open this up over here, you'll see the items coming into the chest as is. Also, when this item sorter gets full, it'll have items that come from here and into this, from this side actually here, into this hopper pipe on this side, and then it'll go into this item filter from here if it happens to be the item filter for that particular item. Then that'll go down into this section down here, comes down over here, and then starts getting filled into the shulker box, which then gets packed off and sent into the item silo for long-term safekeeping. Once you have enough shulker boxes in here, you'll have this light turn on, and that's what tells the maintenance crews that you'd have enough shulker boxes full of items to supply, again, that particular network item storage system or a networked item sorter if it happens to go empty. So to recap, when this chest gets full, items will be sent from the item hopper pipe down there to the item hopper pipe over down this way, going across this way, and then it will go into here. The items will be put into the shulker box. Then when the shulker box is full, it will be packed off into the silo. When this one gets empty, then what happens is it'll send a message out from here and goes down over to this section here, gets dropped off. The message then goes back into your water trough on this side and back, and gets reloaded into this system here, the networking system. When the message does pass through this thing right here, it sends off a signal to this dropper here, which will drop off your shulker box. When the dropper drops the item here, the shulker box, it'll end up going by water trough or water stream in this case to the closest shulker box unpacker. The shulker box unpacker will then load the shulker box at this point here and separate all the items by sucking out all the items from the shulker box into this pipe section here. And once the shulker box has been completely emptied, the empty shulker box will go into this pipeline going out over on top here. The empty shulker box will be fed back into the silo systems through this pipeline here. When it comes across a hopper that is missing a item slot or has an empty item slot, it'll fall into that item slot and then go into its dropper over here, into this dispenser over here, so that it can be then reused again. The items that were removed from said shulker box will now be sent over to its appropriate networked item filter and then put into the chest, where then people can then take the items out as they wish. And that is your fully automated high capacity networked sorting item silo and how it works with your networked item sorter. Well, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you found it informative and managed to use it in your future builds. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notifications section. If you do leave a comment, please remember to keep it clean. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is Check the Effects signing off. I will see you in the next video. Peace.